Hello everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Happy Wednesday to you, and FOMC meeting on the horizon. Another exciting day in the market where the price is going to wick up and down obnoxiously for 30 to 60 minutes while Jerome Powell is giving a speech. So it's going to be interesting nonetheless, right? So be sure to tune in for that. If I'm not mistaken, what the countdown is right here in about 2 hours and 25 minutes. Obviously, depending on when you watch this video, it will be available to you. But generally speaking, taking a look at that is important to understand that that's going to make an impact here today, because all the progress or lack of progress, you could say, could be wiped away in a moment if we see anything upwards of 1 basis point hike. If it's 0.75, probably see a pump and dump, and if it's 0.5, then we might actually see the price recover for Bitcoin. Again, a lot of this hinges on the fact that the market is in better shape than it truly is at this point. So again, that's the goal, that's the hope and anticipation here, is to get something lower for the basis points to allow for the price action to increase. So in all reality, if you're trading into today, you're probably at a point where you're just straight up gambling. So just be very careful and cautious if you do take a trade today, at least here in a couple of hours. All right, so in that sense, if you are new to the channel, just know, not a financial advisor. If you want to become a better trader, I've got a trading college and send out signals for every single trade that I take. We recently took some monster profits here on XRP, 45% profit target 2 in just under 12 hours. So really awesome experience. I send out signals that are fully automated. That's part of the benefit of being a member there. Keep in mind too, prices will be adjusting here soon, so make sure to lock in your rate. I think I'd recommend doing that. Taking a look, of course, last but not least is BitGet. Definitely register with BitGet. Use the link in the description below, of course, because they do have a nice bonus transfer. In other words, you get bonus USDT if you were to transfer over funds and use their exchange. It's based on volume, so you have to use volume, of course. But generally speaking, I partnered with them because they allow for you to have basically leveraging the United States with no VPN, and it's completely legitimate too. It's an awesome company based out of Singapore. I truly do like working with them. It's a really, really good exchange too. Their platform is fantastic. All right, I have walkthroughs, of course, in the description, I think up in the corner there, the tags, so you can effectively learn how to do a trade through their exchange. It's very simple and user-friendly. All right, so here's the thing with Bitcoin. Well, we're seeing a green day today. Nice little bounce off of that support level that we identified yesterday. Pretty close to about 18,800. So 18.8 is effectively the lowest point in which the price action wants to go in the most recent past. Keep in mind, it's candle wicked down all the way to about 17.6. But the lowest candlestick closure we've ever seen in the recent past here, last couple of years, you could say, is right around 18,800. Okay, that's essentially the lowest point in which the price is closed. It's done that 2 times in a row now, right? So within almost 2-week time frame, we've seen that retest that level. Now you could argue that this is the beginning of a double bottom. There's a chance of that. But on the same accord, I think a lot of it just matters what's going to happen here today, because this was CPI data right here. And of course, this was a terrible day in the traditional markets. You can pretty much attribute any red day for Bitcoin to either the regular markets or just the inflation/world events right now. Okay, and those are just disadvantageous. And today, another news event. Wouldn't be surprised if we get 0.75 or 1 basis point hike. And of course, the price action continues lower. So it does feel like the price action is more likely to come down than up. But on the same accord, we got to be cautious and careful in how you trade today. So probably best to wait on the sidelines today, just some friendly advice. All right, taking a look at the daily, of course, let's go ahead and take a look. Of course, we can see that the RSI is still holding strong at below 50. And until we get back up over 50, there's no real bullish type of sentiment we can extract. We've also got this massive bearish type of divergence, essentially, whereas the descending trend is telling us it's hit multiple points, 48,000. Again, here recently, right at about 22,800. And originally started at 69,000 for Bitcoin, okay? Or back in November when Bitcoin hit its highest point. So that descending trend is continuing until we're back up above that, still bearish. All right, so just get that in your mind. That's where we're at. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to drop like a rock, but it does imply that we're not going to increase anytime in the immediate future significantly, right? So, Bitcoin to the moon, we're probably not going to be able to say that for quite some time. I would probably never say that personally, but just generally speaking, that's essentially where we're at. We do have a MACD divergence, of course, here, but the good news is, we're starting to see that momentum dissipate. It's kind of plateauing, so to speak. The trading day isn't over yet, so it's still premature, but generally speaking, might be losing momentum to the downside. Might. All right, so that's essentially where we're at on the daily. On the 4 hour, let's take a quick look at the moving averages and see, because we are below all three, even still. So we're still holding it underneath the 20, the 50, and the 200. So that's never typically a good sign, but we are trying to retest this level, so we'll see if we can kind of break through the 20 first, and then preferably up over the 50. But those aren't super relevant at this point, just based on the overall sense of where things are at right now. Okay, because the 200 is the most important thing, and that's trending right around 21,000. So RSI, however, is kind of a benefit in a sense here, whereas we can see the price action is trying to retest that level for the third time. Okay, and that is the third time over the course of the last 4 trading days. So 4 trading days, 3 retests of a resistance level. There's a chance we could break through that. Obviously, this candlestick isn't ideal, but you can kind of see basically where we're trending right now. Okay, so that's generally where we're at there in that sense. And if we take a look at the MACD, we did see a convergence where the price action is bouncing there. So that is a positive as well. But in the general sense of how things are working right now, Bitcoin is just generally looking weak, and there's no reason to expect it to recover unless we get good news today. That's really the bottom line. We're going to see a retest of that 17.6 range and or a lot lower if we get some bad news today. Okay. So again, just some stuff to kind of be mindful of. If you're a gambling type and you want to jump in, I guess go for it, but I do not recommend it. It's going to be a little crazy today. Every time we have these meetings, the price jumps up and jumps down pretty massively. So again, careful with your stop losses depending on which position you're in or which direction you're heading. Last but not least is the 1 hour. Let's take a look at the Ichimoku cloud, and this is another one of those things where the price is beginning to be range bound between 18.8 and 20,000 even. Okay, so in that sense, with us being range bound, the cloud could give us some false positives, and if you can kind of see here, the price broke above, got rejected, comes back down to retest, and now we're potentially going to get a bounce off the cloud. So again, anytime you see the price action just break above the cloud initially, it's important to kind of take a look at that.